My name is John Nothdurft. I'm Director of Government Affairs here at ISSA, the Worldwide Cleaning Industry Association. So I lead a lot of our outreach to elected officials, regulators, to talk about the cleaning industry, the importance of the cleaning industry. A few years ago, when I got started here, there was no National Cleaning Week. There was no International Cleaning Week. So we started kind of brainstorming and seeing that there was kind of this idea that the last week of March was, or the fourth week of March was International or was Cleaning Week, but no one really celebrated it. So we decided as a association to build that up, and it's come a long way since I think 2019. So super excited. Obviously, want to thank our sponsor, Torque, which is an S&D brand, for their sponsorship of this and our Clean Advocacy Summit, which I'll talk about a little bit later as well. Obviously, it just helps us pull together a lot more resources this year than we have in previous years. So every year we try to take the feedback from you all and try to really make and give more tools to you to um, really celebrate as even bigger and better every single year. It's always cool when I'm pulling this together to go back to last year, whether it's scrolling social media, news clippings to see what everyone's been doing, what they did last year, and there's some really cool stuff that we'll highlight here today. I'll get into it a little bit, but I did want to tell everyone that today is World Nutella Day. It's also World Read Aloud Day and National Chocolate Fondue Day. So there you go. There's a day for everything, as I like to say. But with that, I did want to, before I get started, obviously, this is going to be a relatively short presentation, but if you have any questions about any of the stuff that we're talking about, please put it in the chat, put it in the Q&A. We'll try to get to some of those at the end if you want clarifications on any slides. But we will be recording this, so if you have team members who weren't able to join it, as long as they were either registered for the webinar or if it's you, feel free to share this. We'll post it. I believe Martha will be posting this on YouTube as well, so it'll be free to share if you want to get the word out about it. It's all about trying to make this a big, awesome celebration for all of us. We'll also share the slides as well. So you don't have to worry about asking for that. If you're registered and you're on here right now, you will get the slides and the recording afterwards. But once again, if you got any thoughts, put it in the chat, put it in the Q&A. Happy to get that after my sort of short version of this prepared presentation. So firstly, what is International Cleaning Week? I may accidentally say National Cleaning Week. This is only the second year that we've turned it into International Cleaning Week due to the overwhelming demand that we've had from a lot of our members who are really interested in taking this international. So what is it? It's really, I call it our pep rally, right? This is the week that we want to talk about all things clean, how to celebrate the value of clean, why it's important, the positive impact the industry has on public health, the environment, the economy, all these great things, right? This is our week to shine. When is it? So every year, it starts the fourth Sunday of March. So it'll go through Sunday through the following Saturday. So this year, it'll be March 23rd through March 29th. And why? Why do we do this? As I mentioned, this is our week our week of the year to shine. It's a unique opportunity where we can all get together, talk about, celebrate the value of clean, raise public awareness for the industry, our frontline employees, and for each of you, you probably run a business or you're part of a business. It's a good way to promote your business as well. So it's just something that we think is really valuable to do, and we hope that you will all join us in helping to celebrate and talk about this important week. So ISSA, as I mentioned, about 6 years ago, we kind of took the reins and started running with it. I think it was very simple the first year. I think we did a webinar. We might have had a few graphics, and we really are trying to expand it. And it's really about helping to raise the profile of the industry, and for all of you to try to find unique ways to capitalize and maximize our voice collectively as an industry, whether it's on a national level, international level, or just in your own background, back home. It could be just to all your clients, your customers, It could be to your local city hall, and we'll get into a lot of the ways that you can get involved. Like I said, almost all of these are free. Most of them you can do on your own time. We try to provide some resources, but once again, it's all about being creative, thinking outside the box. We've seen some really cool things that some of the companies have done to promote it. So really kind of six big buckets that we've identified. And one of them is brand new for this year, so we're really excited. One is, basic marketing. So we'll get into some of the toolkit that we've updated, some of the events that ISSA has going on, but also encouraging you to hold your own type of events, philanthropy, so giving back, spotlighting employees. I think this is the spot that we've seen a lot of growth, and I think it's super important. Really spotlighting those essential workers, whether they're on, they're selling your product, manufacture, helping, they're on the line manufacturing your product, or cleaning facilities. These are all essential workers that we, it's a great time of year to really hone in and thank them for their work. And then also help us make it official. So we'll talk about getting government proclamations for the week. And then our newest aspect, which I'll get into, is our Spotless Spaces competition, which we're super excited. This is the first year, so we're kind of learning as we are going, but we're really excited to recognize some of the spotless spaces out there, both domestically and internationally. So with that, let's get into it. So as you probably know, if you've been involved with this, ISSA over the last 3 or 4 years, we've developed a toolkit that you can download some of our logos, different things like that. New this year, so we are trying to be as international as possible. So so far we have it in English, Spanish, and French. Obviously, we can't do it in every language that everyone speaks, but we had to start somewhere, so we're really excited to have it in those three languages as well. So the entire toolkit, all the logos, everything is translated into those languages. Included in this, and we'll get it, I'll show you a couple of visuals of some of it. So new this year, virtual backgrounds like the one I'm using. We also have email signature banners, and then social media cards. So these are all new things that we haven't had in the past. But the biggest thing I would say, the takeaway from this when you're marketing it, is to please include, if it's on social media, International Cleaning Week as the hashtag, and then tag ISSA, if you can, in any of your postings. We like to track it. We like to reshare it. We like to like it. It just helps us to be better at being able to promote and re-promote what you guys are doing. I know I remember last year when I was looking at ISSA's Instagram feed, and we were liking and resharing all the stories, all the companies, and it took you a long time to get through it, but it's just a really cool thing to see how many companies and how many individuals are sharing that stuff on social media. So let's get into it. So this is kind of some of the imagery that we're using this year. So we've updated a lot of it. You'll see so it's about 5 pages long. You can download all of these sort of things. We have these sort of social media buttons that you're able to use, some picture ones, and as I mentioned, some of the banners and different things. You'll see in some of the stuff that I share later, groups have really, feel free to use these. Plaster on my nerd website if you want to make your own stuff and then have the logo in the corner. We're good with that, right? We just want International Cleaning Week to be shared. So feel free to beg, borrow, use them however that you see fit, because that's really the name of the game. We're trying to give everyone a starting place, but we hope that you take all these assets that we've created and run with them. So with this is a little bit more, like I said, we have social media graphics. We even have some sample e-newsletter copy that, once again, this is just to get you started. Feel free to mess around with it, tweak it, edit it however you want. Virtual backgrounds, email signature banners, as well as some of our updated value of clean facts. So as many of you know, if you've been members of ISSA, we update our value of clean about what the monetary value of a clean and healthy building is, and doing the right, going along best practices. And So we've tried to generate some posts based on that updated. I think it was updated maybe last year. So these are relatively, pretty new things that you can really take and run with. And then I think if we haven't already, we'll put a link into the chat for our updated International Cleaning Week page. And I think the toolkit's like right near the top. You can go to it, you can download, it'll have a PDF of the full toolkit, and then you can click in and download some of the assets. So we've completely redone the website, which I think looks really nice. And we'll get into some of the things that we're highlighting on there. But this is a kind of a just one of the examples that some of the stuff's from our new toolkit, and then you'll see some of the companies how they've adapted, either utilizing, leveraging our logo or some of our facts for their own purposes. So some of these are ads they've run on social media. Some of them I've even seen people put out, ads into local newspapers, or even I think the first year we had someone who actually cut radio ads that they put on radio, not talking about International Cleaning Week, but also driving business to themselves, right? So we've seen companies that do, especially like residential cleaners, they'd run, hey, during International Cleaning Week, sign up and we'll give you, a free cleaning or whatever it may be. So we've seen a lot of cool creativity, and I do have a couple more things that we'll get into on this as well. But once again, the name of the game is be creative. Reach out to us if you have any questions, and if you're having any issues with any of the assets. But that's what we're here for. So one thing I wanted to get into is some of the events that ISSA is hosting. We've heard of organizations and companies, hosting lunches for their clients or their customers, or even at their chamber of commerce, saying, hey, celebrating, getting business leaders together and say, we want to talk to you about International Cleaning Week, and here's who we are. But ISSA has a number of events that we'll be talking about. The biggest one, which is kind of the flagship event for this week, is our Clean Advocacy Summit. So this is right in my bailiwick. I know not everyone can pick up and fly to Washington, D.C., but we have over 100 attendees already registered for that event. It's a great opportunity, March 31st and April 1st, to network with industry leaders. So we'll have people represented, manufacturing, distribution, end users. It also is a great opportunity. We have a new president, a new Congress, to meet with congressional offices on the top issues facing the industry. And really just is a great opportunity to talk about the importance of cleanliness, right? And best practices and science and all these sort of things. So it's a really great event. I'll kind of here's the picture from last year, which if you would have taken this picture 3 years ago, it was about me and about 10 people in a room in Washington, D.C., and we've grown to over 100, probably closer to 150 attendees this year, representing the full supply chain of the industry. So some of the top issues that we'll be talking about throughout the week are promoting growth through tax policies, expanding the workforce and training, and defending and promoting science-based best practices and regulations. So that's something we'll be. So if you're interested in any of those topics, we'd love to have you in DC. And if not, we will give you an opportunity to contact your elected official prior to our fly-in and during the fly-in to reinforce our message. So even if you're not able to come to DC, you'll still have an opportunity to weigh in, and it helps us. I remember last year I walked into a member of Congress's office, and they're like, yeah, I think I just got a couple emails about this issue. So it just helps us reinforce, and that, we make it very easy for everyone. So really hope you can attend to that. Once again, back home, think about different industries, even if it's just a luncheon, or anything like that, to raise the awareness for the week. I think that's really important. The other thing that we started, and Stacy Seiden, who's on my team, has really taken this on, is to submit a Cleaning Week proclamation. So any government, and most governments, federal, state, local, even international ones, do a lot of these proclamations. We've been really successful over the last few years. The first year I think we had 5 or 6, and now last year we had 24 states. So this is 24 governors who have said we're proclaiming Cleaning Week in the state of X. So you'll see we had a video from Governor of Ohio last year. We'll have one from the Governor of Illinois this year. We've done events with governors, and then you get this cool sort of printed off paper um, that'll be sent to you if you're the one who submits it for us. So this is something we definitely need your help with. ISSA cannot submit these proclamations, and it has to be submitted by a constituent. So you either have to have a company or someone who has an address in these states to submit them. And currently, we're actually only missing 11 states as of today that we have not submitted a proclamation to. That's not to say we get them for every state, because we don't. But right now, if you have or know someone who is willing to help us submit a proclamation in Colorado, Hawaii, Iowa, Kentucky, Maine, Mississippi, New Mexico, North Dakota, Rhode Island, Vermont, or Wyoming, please reach out to Stacy Seiden. Most of the time, she'll do all the work. We just need an address and an email, and we can take care of the rest. So we would love to at least submit to all 50. Like I said, we don't always get, we don't get all of them, but we get a lot of them. And so we're always trying to build upon that. So new on our website along those lines is interactive map that you'll see on our International Cleaning Week website. This is actually going to be tracking all of the states that we get proclaimed Cleaning Week. Yes, I know for our international folks, we don't have an international map, but that's a lot to do, and it's a whole different process. So I apologize, but so far you can already see we've already received a number of states that have already proclaimed it. City of Houston, state of Georgia, South Carolina, which was the first state to proclaim Cleaning Week, Ohio, New Hampshire, Illinois, and then the ones that are kind of in the middle shade of blue are the ones that I mentioned we have not actually had a submission yet. So we would really value your help. And so people are like, so what's the reasoning for this? Well, one of the things is it really helps us generate more earned media around this, right? It helps with trying to get local media to talk about it. Usually the governor puts out some sort of press release saying, hey, this is cleaning week. Just another way of getting some more eyeballs and recognition for our workers. I know last year, or maybe the year before, I did an event with the Idaho governor, and he actually invited all the cleaning staff from the state capitol to be there. So we had manufacturers, we had distributors, and then we actually had the cleaning staff. And it was really cool to see that interaction of, really thanking those frontline workers. So you don't always have to get the governor there, but it is nice to at least be recognized and really put some of these wins up on the map. Probably my favorite part of every year, though, and something I see often, is just spotlighting your essential employees. I just think it's so important. It can be, a thankless job, especially, cleaning facilities, but even working in manufacturing or distributing, right? And so this is just a highlight of some of the pictures from the last couple years of ways that I've seen other companies. So we have the Vanaken Group, they call them their, celebrating our cleaning heroes. Notre Dame University, where they had students and people sign a big sort of sheet. I know ISSA has done this, where we printed out a big easel, and all staff signed and thanked our cleaning staff for the building that we operate in. We've seen people give gift cards out to their staff, awards, different things like that. So I just think it's super important to tell those sort of stories and really thank our frontline employees, because we obviously can't do it as an industry. We can't keep places clean, healthy, and safe for everyone without those essential employees. So that's something I think if there's nothing else that you do, posting the social media is great, but even if it's just a verbal, walking down the hall thanking the cleaners of your building, I think it just goes a long way. So something I get the most satisfaction when I look back and seeing all the things that are done to recognize our essential workers. So new, I mentioned we have this sort of new idea that we're testing this year, is our Spotless Spaces competition. So we were kind of going back and forth. Some of the feedback we got last year was, this is great, but what else can we do, right? What's some new ideas? So ISSA was like, what if we do a competition, right? Why don't we try to highlight some of the cleanest healthiest, safest, most inclusive, accessible facilities out there, right? So we've named it our Spotless Spaces competition. This is international. I know we've already received some applications from South Africa, Canada, maybe even a Latin America company, facility. So this is your opportunity. So if you're a distributor or manufacturer, feel free to nominate any of your customers or clients. If you're a business service contractor, you can nominate yourself or the building that you clean. We're trying to recognize both the building and the cleaning staff. So that could be an in-house service provider, or it could be a contractor cleaner. So it's really it's twofold, right? We want to recognize the space itself and the crew, the cleaning company, or the folks who are cleaning it, and what sets it apart. So because you all registered for this webinar, I'm going to give you a little peek behind the scenes. And this is what I would do. This is my advice if you are interested in nominating or having someone get nominated. And we've had some really fabulous submissions already. Like I said, we are trying to get them in by February 14th, and then we'll kind of have the finalists and go from there. And there could be multiple awards, so feel free to look into it. But I've been asked a couple times, like, what are you looking for? And I would say one thing, just ways that can help your cleaning process or facility maintenance stand out. So it could be how accessible your space is. Do you provide, do you install a period product disposal system? What are your sustainability efforts? Green cleaning, changing stations. So that's kind of more on the facility standpoint. Mention any certifications or accreditations or accolades that you've gotten as a facility or as a company cleaning. I think one thing that you should highlight is the difficulty of cleaning, right? Not all facilities are created equal. So, how do you deal with a high traffic area like a hotel or a stadium, or the type of facility? Maybe you're in healthcare, which is obviously a unique type of cleaning, or a school where you have a lot of sick kids or a daycare, right? So I would say highlight the things that are unique about your nomination. Also, we have a spot where you can upload pictures. We all know that, just because it looks clean doesn't mean it is clean, but pictures do speak, louder than words. And I think we all know, hey, you can look at something instantly say, that looks pretty clean. Now let's check it, but at least it looks clean, right? So please put in pictures. That is really helpful, and it'll help us on the end side when we're hoping to recognize, especially the finalists, show that cleaner space. Do you measure cleanliness? Do you use, IAQ, so indoor air quality monitors? Do you use ATP to clean test surfaces? Anything that you think that sets your facility or your maintenance apart, I think it's helpful to your application. And then also talk about your staff and their passion. This is something that is probably not as easily quantifiable, but if you've had someone who's, cleaned the space for 20 years, everyone knows their name, they're the most, liked person, they come to work, they do a great job. Talk about that in your application. All these things are differentiators that I think, as we look at the nominations and be able to narrow it down, which I know it's going to be very difficult, that's kind of my suggestions for you in terms of, if you look into submitting some of these applications. Those are some of the things I would highlight. So we're really excited, and we will be announcing that, the winner. So we're going through February 15th. We'll do some public voting for some of these awards, and then we'll be announcing them during International Cleaning Week. But really, our hope is to not just stop with International Cleaning Week. We're working to try to promote some of those spotless spaces throughout the year. So this lives beyond just International Cleaning Week. It's so important to recognize those spaces. They're doing a good job. So other things that you can do: education, educate the public, right? We're all part of the same team. I think John Barrett, who's executive director of ISSA. I know we were talking about some of the stuff that we do, and like imagine if ever, people clean their, wash their hands one more time a day, or uh any of these sort of things. You're just raising awareness for basic health and hygiene, basic cleaning processes. The more we can educate the public, especially in a post-pandemic era, about the importance of cleanliness, the easier it is that this, our industry does not become a spreadsheet thing, right? It's not lowest common denominator. I need to clean because I need to clean, but it's really about the value that a clean and healthy building returns back, right? It's more students being able to come to school because they're not sick, or workers coming to not missing work, or just attracting more people to your business. All these things are highlighted in our value of clean 3.0. So we have a great, so if you haven't already looked into it, go through there, look into it. We have some great stuff that you can pull out. But this is really an education campaign, right? As much as we obviously want people to promote their businesses, it's about raising the profile of cleanliness worldwide. Another thing that we're doing this year is philanthropy. So obviously ISSA charities, we have our scholarships programs, our hygiene network, and cleaning for a reason, where our members and we raise funds to clean houses of those with cancer. So ISSA will actually be hosting two of these cleaning for a reason cleanings. One will be in Chicago, and one will be in the Toronto area. I think we're going to put in the chat a link. So if you're in either of those areas and you want to help, ISSA staff will be doing some of these cleanings as well. If you're interested in volunteering, you can volunteer. But I also invite you, reach out to our Cleaning for a Reason team if you want to do something, or if you're doing any other type of philanthropy in your own area. Another thing that you could think about doing in terms of giving back is, whether it's the LA fires that they're obviously dealing with, even donating product or personal care products, soap, hand sanitizer to local facilities. I know, we've done a lot of these sort of personal care bags that we've donated to, at risk or women's shelters. So it could even be just donating those types of products back to the local charities as well. So just giving you some ideas, but obviously if you're in Toronto or Chicago, we're hoping to build this out in future years, but we're going to start small, as we often do with this week, and try to build out from there. And then just a couple other ways, like I said, and we'll get to some of the chat. I know there's a bunch. Send us a video or tag us about how you're celebrating International Cleaning Week. Let us know how you plan to recognize your frontline employees. Sign up to be an advocate for clean. You can check out our event page and all the trainings that we're doing. We try to do a lot during International Cleaning Week, but there's a lot going out. We don't want to just stop with International Cleaning Week and clap our hands and say, okay, well, we did it, right? This is an ongoing thing, but it starts obviously with International Cleaning Week. So with that, we do have one poll question we'll get to, but just obviously wanted to thank once again our sponsor Torque, an SAD brand, for sponsoring this webinar. They're also a supporting sponsor along with Brady Plus of International Cleaning Week. So very excited to have two supporting sponsors this year of the week itself, and to Torque SAD brand for sponsoring this specific webinar. It's really kind of cool. So looks like we have the poll question up, got some participation. So are you going to download and use the toolkit, enter the competition, participate in our cleaning service project, proclamations, our summit, or if you have your own ideas, I'd love to be able to share some of those if you're mentioning some of those in the chat as well. So we'll give it maybe just 10 more seconds. So get your answers in. Look like we got pretty good participation. About 43% of you have done that. So Martha, I think we can close it and share the poll results, if you don't mind. So I think everyone can see it. So looks like a lot of you people, a lot of everyone on here is going to be utilizing the toolkit and sharing stuff on social media. Thank you so much. Very excited to see that 23% of you are going to be attending the Clean Advocacy Summit. I will be following up with you if you said that. And then obviously, many of you have already helped us get proclamations, but any help with that, obviously super helpful. So really excited to see what's going on. It looks like there might be a couple things in the chat, but so let's see. So with that, I'm happy to take any sort of questions that anyone has. Let me see what we have. So I'm gonna go in reverse order just because that's where I'm seeing. Well, let me see if I can't get into some of these. So someone mentioned if I'm not registered, how do you go about getting the recording in the slides? You can email myself, John N, so two N's at ISSA.com, and we'll get you the recording and the slides. And we'll also be posting, as I mentioned, the recording online, so shouldn't be an issue. The landing page, which we promoted, which is great. Is it possible to get the ICW logo emailed to us separately so we can use it? Absolutely. I think Stacy already sent or looped into the chat the toolkit, and then inside the toolkit, it's a PDF. If you go in there, there's actually areas that'll say download here. You click on that, and it'll download a zip file that has all the assets, so all the shared social media stuff that you can find. Let's see. Oh, yep. Okay, so Puerto Rico. Yep, we have one, and we've gotten Puerto Rico a couple times, which is great. Yeah, hoping that we can get Governor of Alaska. I don't know if we've gotten Alaska in the previous time, but hoping we will. Yes, it's recorded. Sorry, I'm just trying to cycle through the chat real quick. So good. So Alex says, I work for the city of Tempe, custodial division. I would love to recognize our custodians at mayor and council meeting. Deadline for that meeting that week is coming up quickly. I would love to obtain a draft proclamation. Yes. So if you didn't already get it, it's yep. So she's Stacy Seiden at ISSA.com. And we'd love to help you with that. I know in the previous, we had a location, city of Bartlettsville, Oklahoma, where a member actually was given a proclamation by the mayor and recognized. We got Houston this year, and I think they're doing something similar where the members actually going down to City Hall to be recognized. So really love that. Oh, this is great. So Chris said, full page ad in the student newspaper highlighting International Cleaning Week, asking the university community to thank custodians. That's a great idea. I love that. We've seen a lot of cool stuff. I believe, yes, the recording will be posted to the web page at some point. It'll replace where I think the link to this webinar is. It'll also be on our YouTube page, ISSA Media. And we'll be sharing that out as well. So really cool. It will not, so there's a question, and this is something we get oftentimes. There's a lot of different support. So will this conflict with International Housekeeping Week celebrated by the hospitality? No, this is completely separate, right? There's a lot of different things. I think there's some other cleaning weeks as well, right? I think there's room for all of us. When we look at International Cleaning Week, we think kind of big picture, not just housekeeping, right? We're talking about all types of facilities. I know I say we still support and promote International Housekeeping Week, which is I forgot what time of year it is, but we're obviously love that as well. Letters to key building managers and contact at the university, naming the individuals and shifts. That's great. Love that. I think the universities have done a really good job. I know I mentioned University of Notre Dame has done a good job, and we've seen some videos, but I've seen big banners outside of key facilities on campuses recognizing people, or even schools, public schools, K through 12, we've seen a lot. So it's been really cool to see what everyone's done throughout. And obviously, thank you all for joining us. Any other questions? Like I said, just a reminder, we will be this is being recorded. We will be posting it. If you have any questions, if you have any issues with whether it's the website, our assets, or if if next week you don't get the recording, please let us know. We are here to help. And then I think the biggest thing is let us know when you're doing something, right? Whether it's tagging us on social, letting us know, hey, we're doing this. We'd love to have some visibility from ISSA. We love sharing that stuff, especially leading into International Cleaning Week, so we can start generating some ideas about what people can be doing. So like I said, we're hoping that we're providing you a lot of tools and guidance about what you all can do. We know this isn't the end all be all. We're trying to elevate and expand this week every year. And we really do value your feedback. We took a lot of the feedback we received last year about how we can make it better, which is why we have the Spotless Spaces cleaning competition. It's the reason we've converted our toolkit into multiple languages, right? We can't do everything, but we're trying to take those things that we can do and make them better. So really thank you to everyone. I don't think I see any other. Oh, there might be one more question. Is the proclamation information in the toolkit? No. You will need to email Stacy. That's kind of a separate process. And since we have a lot of the states, um, contact Stacy. Stacy, if you want to put your email in the chat, reach out to Stacy. Like I said, we have kind of a template. We make it very easy. Usually, it's just a form on a governor or a mayor's website. Takes no more than 90 seconds. And sometimes we can do that for you. So we'll help you. It's not part of the toolkit. Just because we're trying to be smart about it. We won't if we already have a proclamation from the state, we don't want to have to resubmit it and waste people's time. So we're trying to track that on the back end. And once again, you can track on the website. We have an interactive map, so keep refreshing that. Hopefully your state will proclaim cleaning week, and we do try to get that information out. So once governors sign on to stuff, we'll be sharing that throughout the month. Probably in the next couple weeks, we'll really start getting some of those proclamations in. So it's always good to drop into your own press releases or outreach to local TV. Right, we've seen a lot of success on kind of the 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. newscasts of, hey, we'll do 3 minutes on International Cleaning Week. So those are all the types of things that we really are hoping to get some more feedback and get some success with. But with that, I think I've spoken enough. So really excited. Hope everyone has a very happy International Cleaning Week. Hope to see you in DC or on social media promoting this great week. So with that, thanks so much for joining us.